really have had a lot of errors right the way through the competition, a lot of falls on beam. Several gymnasts have stepped out of the floor area and fallen, and that really isn't commonplace. It's usually the odd one. And on the high bar, we've seen several gymnasts fall, miss their release and catches. And it's crucial, the timing of release on the high bar, and that could be down to getting used to the new apparatus in competition 3 being first.
Well, the lineup of competitors. Neil Thomas is in this first rotation.
Particularly strong on floor, pulling back out piked.
Prior to commencing their exercise routine.
I'm sure that the Australians would love to see her get into the floor final. And from that 2-second glimpse, she's obviously got the potential.
There you will find the names and countries of the gymnasts currently on each apparatus, then their score and ranking. And at the end of each rotation, the placings
big, powerful Albert Humphrey of the United States of America. Another performer that's still in
magazines. We haven't actually seen them perform, so they're unknown quantities, and many of them have been surprises. Some superb talent.
Going through their routines. They won't mind if they're in the middle of routine.
I think more new faces on the side of the female competition than on the male competition.
On his warm-up on the parallel bars there. Really seemed to be enjoying it. 92. I'm not sure whether she likes being called this or not, but we're told that she's known as the Awesome Dawson in the United States of America, and she'll need to be the Awesome Dawson if she's to once again do battle with her teammate Shannon Miller, who has made and achieved the best score on the floor exercise so far. Possibly not the main aim for the elite. It's just to qualify for the top 8, and we've seen many, I feel, first for Joanna Hughes. As we await her score, we move on to Sergei Fedorchenko.
One and only chance, and not having enough somersault to get around the 2 twists. Shortage of rotation caused him to crumple his body, which in turn slowed down the twist. And a fall at the end of that vault.
Their first gymnast of the 94 World Championships in the individual apparatus final. That's a great result for Joanna Hughes, and hopefully that'll boost a few of her teammates along as well and give them the confidence that it's not impossible to achieve this Magic 8 qualification. Humphrey of the United States of America on the parallel bars.
Just can't get used to seeing the gymnastics in competition attire that isn't long whites. Keep thinking that they're only warming up. So unusual. Clean routine, but I suspect not his best piece. He was a lot better on the high. Although the marks have not been very high and the exercise is good in quality and quantity, he really is in a tough field on the parallel bars.
Fedorchenko, 41st position for his vault, 8.950. We await the score of Albert Humphrey for the United States of America. He's also, well, on the borderline for a final place in the high bar top 8, and let's hope that we stick with the parallel bars now, as Rustam Charipov is to follow Albert Humphrey of the United States of America, the Ukrainian competitor. We're going to the vault, it seems, and Marian Kovac of Slovakia, 255.
A vault innovated first of all by Yurchenko, Natalia Yurchenko in 1983, and then adapted onto long horse for men. The Arab Spring entry. Somersaulting to the hands and the full twist in the somersault. But I'm sure he designated a straight shape and he bent his legs. So he could be in for a hefty penalty.
This is the parallel bar performance we've been waiting for. Rustam Charipov in the World Championships of 93 a year ago, 4th position, just outside the medals, behind Belenki, Korobczynski and Vitaly Scherbo. So a possible top 8 performance in the making here.
But unlike his rivals, very much at the beginning of his career. So far, some beautiful combinations, so well executed. Could have done without that, though, but I think that even so, superior to what we've seen, and undisputedly material for the final. Always nice straight arms. Nice Healy somersault combination twice. Slight form deductions, but on the double back pike he split his legs, and the code states that the legs mustn't part, and quite a healthy step forward on the landing. So
the parallel bars results say that Humphrey is not in that final 12th position, and whether Rustam Charipov, the 23-year-old from Goshamd in the Ukraine, has, we will wait and see. And certainly one of the most favoured disciplines for the Ukrainian. And Slovakia, Marian Kovac, well, he's outside the Magic 8 as well. Now, Rustam Charipov. We have to wait a little longer as we return to the men's vault and Brett Hudson of Australia.
And Brett, very powerful indeed. He did a very good floor exercise yesterday.
And how about that? 9.587. Well, we said it was one worth waiting for, but we didn't predict that it would be as good as that, and with a step forward as well on his landing, it leaves a little room to be bettered possibly, but Rustam Charipov, a young rising star from the Ukraine, goes into top spot in the parallel bars.
And here, very powerful man, Brett Hudson, just outside of the list of finalists on floor, and I really think he was unfortunate, although he did make a couple of errors. But let's hope he can get it together on vault. Oh dear. I doubt it. The potential was there, and nobody will be more annoyed than him. Only one chance for the men. It's all or nothing, and it was tight, it was long, it was high. Just look at the explosion from the top of the apparatus. And the half twist, but he came in straight-legged, and if he'd tried to anchor that landing, he'd have injured his left knee. He had no alternative but to step, because he was still twisting as he hit the floor.
Well, the host nation has seen, literally in the past 4 minutes, Joanna Hughes qualify for the individual apparatus and the floor, but the men's squad, 15th position, 9.325, still to field. And I have to agree with Monica Phelps. Brett Hudson very unlucky not to go into the final of the floor. Marius German of Romania.
And Marius can produce some big vaults, double twisting, front 1.5. Let's see what he has to offer us today. A real animal as regards training, such a hard worker. Gymnasts needs so many qualities, and he's had to overcome so many, but there, the double twist got to the floor a little bit low, a little bit under-rotated and twisted, but nevertheless a good vault. Not many men have hit their vaults well today. We've had lots of falls. But again, that was pure animal aggression to make sure that he got to his feet. He was running out of speed, running out of rotation, running out of technique. But there was no way he was going to put his hands down. Just wincing. He obviously twisted his right ankle a little bit, plied with one foot in parallel with the other. But he'll be lucky to make the top 8 on that, but it's not impossible.
7th position, 9.425. Doesn't leave himself a lot of breathing space, but with luck on his side, Marius German could go through. Huang Lipin in the parallel bars now finds himself chasing Rustam Charipov. 9.587 is the best score we've seen throughout the morning on this apparatus.
Oh, beautiful double back piped. If he goes on this way, Charipov will only have the lead for a very short time. Double Healy. Double back. The Chinese temperament always suspect. Well, it's going to be close. Definitely close. I think Charipov had the edge in variety of skills. But Li Ping really had the edge as regards flighted elements. Two different kinds of routines totally. Both excellent gymnasts, both technicians. But Charipov just had a step and he literally had a jump. Both feet left the floor.
Still, good enough performance puts Huang Lipin into the top 8. As we said earlier on, parallel bars is still possibly the most wide open of all the apparatus so far. Some of the lowest scoring has gone in there. And as Monica pointed out just a short while ago, the vault still is not that difficult with 9.425, 9.4, the lowest attainable score to stay within qualification cut-off point.
Just a little reminder that we're not seeing, oh, he's gone into the lead. 9.687.
Some Dawson, and that puts Shannon Miller down into 2nd position. And Monica, once again, those two will be battling it out as we move quickly to Eric Poujade of the French team for his performance on the parallel bars, now chasing Huang Lipin, leading for China.
Nice work going on the P-bars here. Double front step out, clean, full of variety. And lots of difficulty.
The Frenchman, who's enjoying his World Championships, qualified for the pommel finals and could be on his way to his 2nd qualification with that performance. Britain's Neil Thomas, 6th in the floor with his vault.
Neat vault, neat and sweet as I would call it, because it wasn't a mammoth long vault. It's powerful enough to a low squat position, but so many people have fallen that I think that's good enough for him to get into the final. That would be nice for him to make 2 finals. Last British vaulter who made, no, not 9.4.
And also no qualification for Eric Poujade of France. He goes 23rd in his challenge. But they'll both, Poujade and Thomas, Western Europeans, looking forward to their respective finals of the floor and the pommel. Hristazov of Bulgaria.
And that's certainly not intended. And what was a good exercise. He's really blown. Fall against the apparatus, and he will be totally out of contention. A couple of walks in the handstand. Well, that put the tin lid on it. No way would he ever make a final with one fall, but landing in front support from the dismount, I think that was a loss of concentration. Probably very annoyed with himself.
Kalofa Haristasov of Bulgaria, and we see the error in slow motion.
It's actually a Healy that he came down from, and these are sometimes how movements are invented, by errors, and I think even the possibility of working out of that the way he did in splitting his legs and going up to handstand is there. I bet they'll inspect that on video when they get home. So we have a new leader on floor after that round, Dominique Dawes. And I think that caused quite a rumble in the audience when the score came up.
And it really has set up a classic battle between the big guns of America and Eastern Europe for one of the most popular medals in the women's floor. Haristasov, 54th position. We also see a new leader, Huang Lipin, in the parallel bars. And Sultan Stupala still leads for Australia. A lot of youngsters from different schools and universities invited to come along, all wearing their different colours to form a very pretty part. Well, subdivision D continues, but rotation 1 finishes, which takes us into rotation 2, and it means a welcome round of applause for Vitaly Sherbo, who will be performing in the vault in this part of the competition. It also means Igor Korobchinsky will be in the high bar. And the women's competition, well, Lee to watch out for, and also Lavinia Milicevic. Commercial break, but please don't go away, because the excitement of today's qualification is by no means over. We'll be back in a short while with Lavinia Milicevic on beam and the great Vitaly Sherbo in the vault.
Only 10 centimetres wide.
Sport Live.
Gymnast, she's picked up a world title in all 4 of the apparatus since 1991, and we're also watching out for Vitaly Sherbo in the vault. 6 Olympic medals went his way in Barcelona. Korobchinsky will be the man to watch for in the high bar, and himself a world champion in the 89 event in Stuttgart in Germany, twice a European champion. But a competitor that favours the floor, so it'll be interesting to see how Korobchinsky favours in the high bar competition, currently led by Zoltán Supala of Hungary.
Be particularly interesting to see if Sherbo performs his own vault, because he was an innovator of a very difficult vault. Be intriguing to see if he continues to use it. New to look out for, Podkapayeva from the Ukraine, and Yuda Kamova from Kazakhstan.
And with his back to us there is Igor Korobchinsky, I think waiting patiently for his warm-up on the high bar. He's already qualified for the pommel horse finals and for the floor, where he came in 3rd, with Vitaly Sherbo claiming top honours. But as we've been discussing throughout these qualifications, just a good performance to guarantee a final placing, looking to bring and pull special performances off in the final to try and claim that medal. And certainly Korobchinsky-Sherbo battle we're looking forward to. Igor Korobchinsky of the Ukraine, 24 years of age, from Lugansk, gets rotation 2 underway, looking to qualify for his 3rd final of these 29th World Championships.
Interesting, only one release and catch. Didn't double up or triple up on that, as we've seen so far from others. But short on content to me.
And one has to say that the floor and the pommel are his most favourite of apparatus, but he didn't seem to enjoy that at all. It was as if that he wanted it over before he started.
Dismount double twisting, but only one release and catch, and I suspect he came in wrongly and didn't feel that he could put another one on, and so continued with the exercise. If it had been an all-round competition, he might have struggled to correct it. But that was Korobczynski very much under par.
And we'll await the response of the judges to that performance. This is also an event that we're watching carefully to see if the British champion Marvin Campbell can scrape inside. He's down in 6th position, we believe, at the moment. And Korobczynski, I get the feeling that he knows 20th position, and Monica Phelps quite rightly pointing out that that was an under par performance from Korobczynski. And the scoring and placing really does reflect just that. We move now to the parallel bars. Dmitry Rybalko of Kazakhstan.
I was about to say only one really major error, and that was on the straddle cut. But the half backward roll, which was not intentional on the dismount, puts paid to his possibilities of getting into the parallel bar final. As it was, he was going to struggle. His difficulty wasn't enough. But if the form had been perfect, on the men's code it's possible, with bonus points for virtuosity but not originality and risk, it's possible for a routine with only the mean requirements to get there. Perhaps an opportunity to confirm that the men are working under a very much revised code of points. At one time, the gymnasts could pick up bonus points for originality and risk, but the system now has been changed. The better gymnasts can move into the E-movement categories to pick up bonus points, but one whole mark is laid aside for bonus points. But the difficulties must be performed with perfect technique and without an error of more than 2/10.
Rybalko way down the individual results for the high bar qualification, parallel bar qualification I should say, as we now move to the vault, and the defending world champion in this individual apparatus, Vitaly Sherbo, and we're all waiting to see whether he's brought that special vault to Australia with him.
No, but whatever, he's won. He's gone straight into the lead. He didn't use his own special one. That's probably in the bag for the next round. But by far the most superior vault of the day. Normally at this point he would put a full twist in where he just did the plain somersault. But it was high, it was long enough, and landed well. And I must say, very, very few of the men have got to straight legs today.
The 22-year-old from Minsk, Vitaly Sherbo, with 6 gold medals from the Olympic Games, the all-around world champion, and this is one of the individual titles that he's defending as we speak, gets off to the perfect start. There's no question in the commentary box here that Vitaly Sherbo will go into first position, 9.662. So the disaster of the pommel horse, which has been much publicised, has been put behind him. He's won the floor qualification and now leads the vault qualification. And for me, Vitaly Sherbo is bang on target to not only defend his individual titles, but also to take the all-around. And he really is showing a superior quality and finesse that, as Monica felt. 2-3-2. Huang Lipin on the high bar. And Huang Lipin has taken the lead on the parallel bars. So enjoying his day's work, guaranteed himself a place in the P-bar final. And now let's see if Huang can make it 2 out of 2.
Crucial on his release and catch timing. Oh, lovely Kovac. The double back to re-catch. One-arm giant into Kachev. Oh. By his fingertips. Just on timing. And I have said before, but I'll say it again, that the Chinese, they go for such precision in their work that the nearer perfection you get, the easier it is to come unstuck. It's easy to take risks and not go for the perfect move to the highest possible level of the skill, which they do. And in that degree, they never take risks, but often it costs them dearly. And he was so close, just needed to be another couple of centimetres over the bar. Bad landing, but what would have been a wonderful exercise, marred by the fall, and obviously he was very disappointed with himself. His body language while he went to chalk up his hands demonstrated that, and then he just let it go on the dismount. The whip ready for the lift. There's the straight and the full twist. Just dropped his trunk. But I think he probably would have fought to save that had he stayed on the apparatus. Only 8.775.
Well, Huang Lipin still maintains top position in the parallel bars, and it's the P-bars that Peter Hogan tries to gain qualification for now.
Good work. Very good work. Oh. We thought that second Australian were going into the final there. And from the crowd's reaction, somebody else had a tipple off another piece of apparatus too. Struggling on that flying back. And as he walks away, he'll probably be thinking, well, thank goodness it isn't the all-around final. They don't have to pick themselves up and go on to another piece of apparatus where that score is added. Caused by lack of body tension, rolling down the bars. And right out of it at 8.6. An awful lot of bottle.
Scott Keswick of the United States of America, the high bar. 9.55, still the best. So one of the competitions that there is still room to break into the top 8.
I was just about to say that with Trent Dimas being world champion, perhaps Scott could do something on here, but he went wrong on the second swing. He warmed up so well He looks startling in warm-up. It will be interesting reading the post-mortem on the championships, whether or not the apparatus did play any part in the instability of the gymnasts. Because being in the southern hemisphere, not many gymnasts have used this equipment, and it may take quite a lot longer to adapt to. And as it is the individual apparatus final first, they're having to get very involved. They haven't got the sets and the all-around to warm up and get accustomed to the spring of the bar or the rails. Late on the release for the triple back. Yes, it's all timing where it's going wrong. And that is a mental concept. Dismount. Oh, it was late. He was travelling in towards the bar. Yefen, his coach, standing there looking and hoping that he didn't travel any nearer.
Trying to get into his second final. His favoured discipline or apparatus of all the floor has gone his way. Now let's see what Neil can do on the P-bars.
Looking tight. Diamondov, but a little bit of arm bend as he swings through. Never mind, a highly ranked skill over and done with, relatively successfully. Dismount was suspect, looked as though it was intended to be piked, and he ran out of rotation and tucked his legs in. Normally lacking a little bit in quantity on P-bars, but as the scores weren't very high, perhaps he hoped. Only 8.925, well out of it.
Understandably way down there for Scott Keswick. He needs to pull himself together for the all-around. Pointed out just before the commercial break, the women's competition, once again, Podkopayeva and Lavinia Milicevic, who have changed the top standings on the beam dramatically after their performance. Shannon Miller, Milicevic and Podkopayeva, the 1, 2 and 3 for the beam, and Milicevic will be in action on the floor. Well, the men's to watch out for in the parallel bars, Vitaly Sherbo, winner of the floor and also now leading the men's vault. Yuri Keki, winner of the rings, he also goes in the P-bars in this rotation, and also Britain's Neil Thomas goes in the high bar. So rotation 3, and that the Belgian coach, the lifted young Elodie Lusac from Marseille, just 14 years of age, and we'll keep you informed on Elodie's progress, if she's injured or will return to the competition, and hopefully later on during the broadcast show exactly what happened as the bell sounds the end of the warm-up, and we will begin with rotation number 3. That's quite a sad way to get this third and final part of our broadcast underway, and let's keep our fingers crossed that it's just a bit of bruising and shock to Elodie and nothing serious.
It looks like we're starting on vault with Kirlias Varona from Lithuania. Powerful. Not a difficult vault, but well executed. And I really don't think it's worth taking the risk unless absolutely positive on a difficult vault. So many of the gymnasts have come to grief because they've been really working a vault beyond their ability to be consistent. Nice full twist in 1.5 somersaults, but an unsteady landing. The leader on vault, Vitaly Sherbo, with a superb double twisting Yurchenko. And then Yule was second, 9.125, by virtue of the fact that he only competed a 9.5 Tarot vault.
Well, we stay with the men's vault. Yo Hong-chul of Korea, 9.662. Vitaly Sherbo, the best vault of the day.
But like his compatriot, he could have a very powerful vault, looking at the size of his legs. Powerful legs, lots of cross speed. Oh, yes. Maximum mark. Well, look out Vitaly Sherbo, because I do think that could take the lead, certainly on height. It was mammoth. Massive height. Just watch the height he goes. He floated, absolutely floated down.
Well, you spotted the power there absolutely perfectly. As well, a new name, Korean, that will certainly figure amongst the top 8. And has Vitaly Sherbo found a threat? His match, or even better, 9.662, I remind you, is the best score. It's still the qualification. The Korean, definitely by our accounts here in the commentary box, has done enough to go into the top 8. But can he put the pressure on? And look at the score, 9.812. Yo Hong-chul. Well, that's something and someone to watch out for. And Sherbo, I'm sure, will have watched that with, well, a little bit of anxiety.
Ball 5/10 in the step out.
A clear indication of how close the competition is in these 2 days of qualifications. We go to the men's high bar. Brett Hudson of Australia. Australia, the host nation, with just one qualifier to the weekend's action on the floor, Joanna Hughes.
Well, perhaps it can't be the apparatus, because Brett must train on it all the time. I think in his case, power, too much of it, wrongly directed. I'm sure he's all right, but it looked very dramatic. He let go of the bar too early, and it didn't give him enough distance over the bar. He was really coming down on top of it almost. But we're going to see more of Brett Hudson in the future. He's a very talented young man. Powerful. And obviously quite resilient. Dismount. Not quite holding that though, despite the strength in his legs. Double twisting layout dismount. But all the skills are there, and I'm sure they don't expect too much of him in this his first World Championship.
Way down, Brett Hudson. And as Monaco has pointed out many a times, you add a 10th here or a 10th there, a point here and a point there, and that positioning can change completely. Vitaly Sherbo, well, now lies in second position in the vault after Yo Hong-chul came out with a sensational, but now it's his turn to try and make his mark on the parallel bars again. An apparatus where he is the defending world champion and Olympic champion. So Vitaly Sherbo, clear favourite for this. And really every inch of the bars being padded out with the magnesium carbonate. 9.55. Supala still leads. That's not the right one, my mistake. It's not Supala. Supala leads the high bar, not the parallel bar. Huang Lipin. 9.687 is the score if he's to take the lead, but I'm sure he'd be happy just going into the top three. Rustam Charipov is in second position with 9.587. Well, let's have a look now and see how the defending world champion copes with his P-bar routine for qualification to the weekend's final.
Bearing in mind that he won the world title on a 9-6 score in 93. He means business. Going well. Double Healy. Nice Stutz turn, flying back. Dismount, stick it, yes. Well, that was positive. I think that's got to put him in the number one spot. But if the Chinese contender had landed his dismount as well as Sherbo, the story might have been different.
Well, Italy, Sherbo is on target. We certainly feel for the repeat performance of Barcelona, where he really was unstoppable. And some interesting marks there on the arms, Monica. Not choosing to wear padding like many of the competitors we've seen today.
No, sometimes it puts them off. It depends on the kind of skills. It rub against the torso sometimes on their swinging skills. So he has to suffer the bruises.
Suffer the bruises he does, but the consequences of that performance we await from the judges.
Straight over to the dock and have it treated.
9.575, fourth position. Well, I have to admit, I'm quite surprised with that scoring. Monica, you're far more expert than I, but I'd certainly got that as a definite top three and a possible top two.
Yes, the possibility was there. I mean, I'm not a man's coach, but from the marks I would gather that his flight elements weren't adequate in comparison to those who were ahead of him.
Well, we move on, and Yuri Keki of Italy, the top qualifier in the rings competition, and of course the defending world champion in that apparatus. In the parallel bars, he did not qualify for the final in the last World Championships in Birmingham a year ago. But, well, riding high in a confident frame of mind. Number 191 of Italy needs to score around about 9.4 to stay in the top 8 and qualify for his second final.
Oh, that went wrong. Yes, and Chechi pleased with that routine. I think that the combination, the new code of points for men, unless you're working it on a day-to-day basis, which I don't, despite the fact that I've been involved in gymnastics for many, many years, it is new, and the combinations from D to E, where the bonuses are scored, are quite difficult to assess. And obviously, Sherbo is short on his bonus points, and his combination increasing in value from D to E. And if that is the case, the possibility there is for Chechi to beat him.
Well, now, fully recovered from the Achilles injury, that kept Keki away from international competition for some time. It enabled him to build that amazing upper body, and he's sort of giving us a little display there. The same burns and bruises that Vitaly Sherbo turned up with after his performance. Again, choosing not to use the padding, Huang Lipin. has the best score in the parallel bars. And, well, we won't repeat the words that he used, but ninth position explains that he's just outside the magic 8. And I have to admit, that is also very disappointing for Yuri. Sherbo says the same thing. I'm a little dismayed or disappointed with my marks. And, well, Yuri Keki bitterly disappointed with that.
Yes, I think Sherbo can see where he went wrong, because on Chechi's straddle cut, he didn't have nice straight legs. His tariff is saying is 9.9. But Chechi never does keep a secret. When he's not happy, he makes it abundantly clear.
And the official's asking him not to leave until the rotation has come to an end, and he's not having any of it. Well, that's good to see. Sportsmanly behaviour getting the better of his frame of mind, and he will need to do something special. And let's hope that something special can come from Neil Thomas, as he has his last attempt at a second final qualification at the weekend. He's done well to go 6th in the floor qualifications yesterday, and now in the high bar, chasing 9.55 of Sultan Supala.
To well-timed release and catch. Kachev's close bar work. Stoop through. The dismount. Half in, half out. A clean routine. Very few faults, only small and medium faults. Not very high in difficulty. But no big areas of problem. 9.325, just out of the, well, quite a long way out of the finals, but ranking 13th in the world at this stage, when nearly all the runners and riders have been, is no mean feat. But
this coming Sunday, for the second part of each of the individual apparatus, which leaves us 4 hours to 5 hours tomorrow morning and Friday morning for the all-around competition, starting with the men and the women. And on today's performances, well, Lavinia Milicevic, the Olympic champion of 92, is looking one of the big favourites, having got the better of the American stars Dominique Dawes and Shannon Miller on 2 occasions today. Well, Dominique Dawes will be in action on the beam, and that's one that we'll also watch very closely indeed, because Dominique Dawes was, of course, the runner-up to Lavinia Milicevic in the World Championships at Birmingham a year ago. Joanna Hughes of Australia, she's already qualified.
On beam, looking very positive as usual, because that's what beam is all about. High bar has been a bit of a wild affair for men. Very few of them have stuck their skills. Parallel bars, Sherbo went to miss. Vault, again we've had probably more falls than landings. But then one new talent emerged from Korea, so that puts 2 of the Koreans in contention for a medal on that piece of apparatus.
Verona there, the Lithuanian, number 213, just adjusting the height of the P-bars for his warm-up.
Gymnasts, cease warm-up. You are now in the hands of the control group.
Keswick looking promising in vault warm-up, but there again he did in the high bar warm-up.
Oh, what a disaster that was for the American. Well, it looks like we will start with the action from the parallel bars. Jung Ying Soo of Korea. Going to number 204 there. We'll get the action underway. Starting in the vault will be Carlos Rosales of Spain. To start rotation 4, Jung Yin Soo. And it's been a good day for the Koreans. They've had some exceptional performances in the vault. Teammate Ye Hong Chi leads the vault, 9.812.
So to P-bars, and in the background, Britain's Zita Lusak has just finished her floor. I'm sure that the Brits will hear her music in the background. Nice double back there from Young. And again, but an extra swing into that. The standard on parallel bars, I think, has lifted more than on any other piece of apparatus. Tremendous variety of skills. The gymnasts have 11 groups from which to choose, with forward and back swings on upper arms, in support, leg circles, dismounts, and flight elements, to mention a few. Ni Shang-chung to vault. Heavily strapped calf. He looks as though he's had a bit of an accident and split the calf. Oh, super. And I haven't seen a Chinese man land such a good vault for many years. Chong Fai and Li Ning were good vaulters, but very inconsistent. But that was spot on. Technically, it was a beautiful vault. Handspring, 1.5 twist, and the landing so accurate. It just wasn't as long and high, and so it won't get the bonus points to take him into the lead.
Yong Yin-soo, 6th position, 9.537. He's happy with that work, as another member of the Korean delegation qualifies for the parallel bars competition. And it's pleasing work for the Koreans. Now let's see if the score from Li Zuanchuang of China is good enough to put him amongst the top 8. We'll have to wait as we stay with the parallel bars. And Isidro Ibarrando of Argentina.
Good routine from one of the lesser nations. Nice to see some of the South Americans represented. But clean, with a fair share of difficulty, not in the highest categories, but nevertheless, well executed gymnastics. He didn't disgrace himself.
Third position, 9.650, just tucked in behind Vitaly Scherber. And Li Xuanshang will be another name to watch out for in the vault final to be held this coming Sunday. And proving that the competition really goes right to the end. We'll also await to see Ivan Ivanov and Grigory Mizyutin in this final 4th rotation for the men's vault to decide the final 8. Maybe Lee will give us a smile if he claims a medal at the weekend, but looking very serious. You wouldn't think that he probably just had the best vault of his life there at all. And here's one of the other contenders, Ivan Ivanov, who was very impressive on the floor yesterday. Came in 2nd behind Vitaly Scherber, and that would have boosted the Bulgarians' confidence. Let's see if Ivanov, who really does now need to score above 9.5 if he's to qualify for his second final at the weekend.
If he was powerful on floor, he stands a good chance of gaining bonus points by virtuosity, getting beyond the 3.5 metre mark. Well, not quite for those reasons, and the difficulty only in the 9.5 category, so it'll be hard pushed to get in the top 8.
Well, whilst we await the score of Ivan Ivanov, I can bring you the latest news from Elodie Lussac, the youngster from France who we saw take that very nasty fall on the floor in her warm-up in the last rotation. She's broken her nose and has damaged her teeth. She's called it a day for today, and rightly so, but the French camper have fingers crossed that Elodie will be back for the all-around competition, which is not till Friday, so a possible 24 hours. But a nasty fall and a nasty broken nose there, Monica, not pleasant at all.
I only saw the end product. I didn't actually see her fall, and I wonder, with her having broken her nose and her teeth, I wonder if she actually fell on the beam and came off to the side, and what we saw was the aftermath, because she was on beam first piece.
Well, let's hope, whether it was on the beam or the floor, that she gets on with a speedy recovery, and we wish Elodie all the best, and all the French gymnastic fans watching. Scott Keswick for the USA, his vault.
1.5 twists. It's quite long. Couldn't exactly see where it landed on the taped mark, because this has a great bearing on the score, providing the hips are 1 metre above the horse. There they are. Certainly not in the category to be liable for deductions, but nor was it to get bonus points. .5 maximum score on 1.5 twists.
Well, it's not been a great day for Scott. Falling off the high bar, 12th position. Well, I think he'll be quite happy with that. Obviously not qualifying, but 9.450 with the standard and the quality of vaulting that we've seen today. I think that's not too bad a result, 12th position for the American.
And I must be wrong on the tariff, because he would never get 9.45 out of 9.5. That must be a 9.8 tariff and not a 9.5.
Well, we're staying with the vault because we're waiting to see Grigory Mizyutin, 5th in the floor, already qualified for that final. The world champion of yesteryear, coming back to form and representing the Ukraine now. Mizyutin finds himself chasing the Korean and great friend Vitaly Sherbo in 2nd position.
Oh, superb. And that's why he entered the vault final. I was trying to weigh up why he only entered one final, but that is because he has actually mastered the multiple front from the end of the horse. Look forward to watching it in slow motion.
Well, we'll hopefully bring the slow-mo of that. That was a cracking performance, but we're trying to squeeze all the big favourites in. Vitaly Sherbo now on the high bar, and this, if he stays in the top 8, will be his 5th out of a possible 6 qualification.
I think he's into improvisation territory. I've got a feeling that he had to change direction for the hesitancy on the top, but he won't lose too much for it. Yes, and I think I'm right. If he is really, really delighted, he shows that he's well satisfied. He's trying to disguise the fact that he had a crisis. He coped with it very well. It is shortly after this, the hop to one hand there. And I strongly suspect that he was meant to continue with backward circling. But nevertheless, an excellent routine with the crisis.
One to be left with the judges, but 9.55 was the best, so certainly should be good enough to keep him in that top 8. And 2 very good days' work for Vitaly Scherbo, who will be on target. The only disaster was the pommel which came yesterday, which, if you were with us live on Eurosport, you'll have seen a very disgusted and disappointed Vitaly Scherbo. We're also awaiting the scoring of that triple front from Grigory Mizyutin in the vault. He was the last performer in the vault competition. And you can see that cut in the left arm of Vitaly Scherbo. Very sore indeed from the parallel bars. Still, Monica, he seems quite happy with himself.
He does. He had, I think that all that would have happened, a break in a combination which would have given him another DE combination, which would have lifted his bonus points. So he'll wait eagerly, but I think he has made an error and probably lost some of the bonus points that he was aiming for. But it seems like the judges are of the same opinion. Did he or didn't he make an error? Did he improvise? Was he meant to put something else there? They're taking a long time in establishing his score.
I wonder if he's whispering in Ukrainian to the coach there. Do you think they spotted it? I really do. There was a few whispers going on there, and possibly Scherbo shakes his head there. No, I haven't got away with it. But whether he has or he has not, we feel that he's done enough to qualify for the top 8, and we'll see a change of character and a change of frame of mind. At 5th position, yes, they didn't see it maybe, he said 9.475, and he's happy with that. It's brought a smile to his face, and that makes it 5 qualifications out of a possible 6. By far the best performance, and he's well, you can judge for yourselves.
It's
there.
Great to see, absolutely great to see. Mizyutin 3rd for that mammoth vault. But he qualifier, but going back to Scherbo, in the days of the Soviet Union as a team, they really didn't give away their emotions, and it's lovely to see Scherbo so hungry for victory and so delighted with his own performance.
Well, Boris Preti is next on the high bar, but let's maintain the placing 5th position for Scherbo, with another 4 competitors in this apparatus.
Preti going well. Very difficult to upgrade and get the big scores. Excellent dismount, high grading dismount. I was involved talking about Scherbo at the beginning of Preti's routine, so I didn't actually calculate its difficulty, but it was certainly very clean. Hop change into the one-arm giant, into Kachev. Good link.
Really enjoying this welcomed local support. We go back to Boris Preti, who's come in 2nd, 9.537. Now that's also knocked Vitaly Scherbo down into 6th position, so there's only another 2 placings before he gets knocked out, and Boris Preti, well, will be delighted with that, and will certainly make up for the disappointment of the Italian camp with Yuri Keki not qualifying, going in at 9th position after his high bar routine.
And I wonder how many creaky tactics have been fed out in these individual apparatus finals, because really the accolade is to win It only takes 1.5 flu and a little injury, and she could be in. But she coped so well with the pressure. She really did perform the exercise.
Alan Nollet of Canada, 136. Alan, who was in joint 8th position with Li Dashuang for the floor competition.
Good combination. Well, not exactly a combination, but good successive skills. Well held, dismount. Had good difficulty. But once again, was his difficulty such that it took him into the bonus areas. 1 whole mark for bonuses, and they have to get into the E category for bonuses unless they have a virtuosity score of 2/10 for really high technical skill. Kovac, and then full twisting Ginger, because the Ginger already has a half twist. So good exercise. Good exercise, little stress point in the middle, but he overcame it well. Dismount high and landed still, and I think he's about the only person we've seen in the last 20 or 30 gymnasts who's managed to land a still landing from the end of the pommels, from the end of the high bar. 9-3. Not good enough to get them into the final, but 19th in the world isn't bad. Notice his tattoo of the Olympics.
Takes his sport very seriously, obviously. And following the high bar competition right to the end, just to make sure that Vitaly Sherbo does qualify, Aliaz Pagan of Slovenia next, and the final competitor in the high bar competition, and we'll be bringing this 4th rotation to a close, and the men's qualification competition.
This is superb work. 3 release and 4 release and catches. One was a double front with a half twist over the bar, and then the rest consecutive backward travelling releases and catches, and a triple. Boy, oh boy, he really did cream that routine. Beautiful.
Well, they talk about saving the best till last. Totally unheard of, almost, well, from a world-class point of view, and produces a sensational high bar routine to bring the competition to a close, and that was riveting from start to finish.
Just watch this. 1. The catch into the bar wasn't fluent. He couldn't have actually done a major skill out of it. But he managed to keep going even though he had a bent arm. Good form of the legs. And then 3 release and catches. Catcher straddled, and then round into Ginger somersault. And then a perfectly timed triple back. I mean, it really was perfectly timed. Shoulders and hips and ankles all in line on landing. You can't ask much more than that. He just didn't get his heels down.
Now the question is, have Slovenia found a finalist? in the high bar competition.
He must get into the final with a routine like that, surely.
I've certainly got that down as a top 4 performance. And there it is, 9.650. Well, we've waited and been in Brisbane for a long time, and they've saved the best till last. Pagan of Slovenia, the big surprise of the men's high bar individual competition. The last competitor of the qualification competition gets congratulations from coaches and performers alike, because that really was something very special, 9.650, and sends a chilling message to the likes of Vitaly Scherbo and the other top performers. Well, the qualifiers in the men's vault: Ye Hung Chul, Scherbo, Lee, Mizyutin, Yu, Suzuki, Kanbas of Turkey, which is very pleasing to see, and the Belarusian Ivankov. And that will be a very closely fought competition. In the parallel bars for the men, Huang, Charipov, Ivanov, Scherbo is there again, Lee, Nemov, Jung and Chabeyev. And then Guinea of Russia, the 8th and final qualifier there. And again, some interesting results in the men's parallel bar competition. In the high bar, well, how about that for a surprise? Zoltan Supala, who'd almost led from start to finish, gets put into 2nd position by the Slovenian, with Boris Preti 3rd. And then Hungary, Albert Humphrey has made it. Sadly, no Campbell for Britain, and Scherbo just squeezes in there, the Belarusian in 7th position. And also congratulations to Finland.
And here the beam qualifier.